Welcome to Daily Magic, a cozy, growth-minded, sparkly corner of the world. Join me, Shaina, as we revel in and rediscover the abundant magic that fills our daily lives. So brew up some tea in your favorite mug, settle into your comfiest chair, and breathe deep as we create Daily Magic. Hello, my beautiful friend. I am so happy that you are here. As we step into today's magic, there are two ultra cozy ways that you can experience it. The first, which I think would be a very super fun choice, is to follow along in actions as I narrate. You can follow my description step by step so that you are living in real time this guided adventure. Or secondly, you can get cozy and restful, make yourself a cup of tea, pull on some fuzzy socks, and allow yourself into a vivid visualization where you take on and truly feel the events of the sequence as if you were living it in this moment. Either way, I encourage you to take a few grounding breaths, let yourself settle in, and invite in the magic of Dolce far niente. You stand in the sanctuary of your home. The soft light of morning filters in, casting a warm glow on the open door of your closet. You sift through the fabrics of your clothes, feeling the textures beneath your fingertips. You select an oversized sweatshirt, its softness inviting you to wrap yourself in comfort. As you slide it over your head, you relish the way it envelops you like a gentle hug. Taking your time, you choose your softest pants, the kind that drape effortlessly against your skin. With a satisfied sigh, you admire your reflection, a picture of coziness. You pause to take a few grounding box breaths, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. As you anchor into your body and this moment, you can feel the pressure of the world outside diminishing. You reach to the bedside table and collect your phone. Hold the power button down until it fully shuts off, and slide it into a nearby drawer. You make your way to the kitchen and fill your kettle with purified water. You place it on a burner to heat, and as it does, you fill your grinder with fresh coffee beans, taking a long, decided moment to breathe in the scent of the whole beans. As the coffee grinds, the rich aroma grows and wafts up to greet you. You take another moment to inhale deeply, savoring the smell that fills the air. Your kettle whistles, and you mindfully begin to pour the hot water over the coffee grounds, watching as it bubbles and blooms. The steam rises, curling around you, and you take a moment to appreciate this small act of creation. With your hands wrapped warmly around your steaming mug, you make your way and step out onto your patio or terrace. The warmth of the sun gently embraces you as you settle into your favorite chair. You take your first sip of your coffee, tuning into each note that dances across your palate. Your gaze drifts across the scene before you. Treetops and neighboring roofs are in view. A seemingly weightless white butterfly flits by as if to share a gentle greeting as it continues on its way. It isn't the view that is marvelous. It is your presence with it that soaks up all that is. The world moves at its own pace, but here you are in no rush. You lean back, closing your eyes for a moment, soaking in the sounds around you, the rustle of leaves, the distant laughter of children, a gentle breeze. You take another sip, feeling its warmth spread through you. In this moment, there is no agenda, no need to achieve anything. You let out a contented sigh, allowing the sweetness of doing nothing to wash over you, filling your heart with gratitude. In this serene space, you realize that life's magic often resides in these quiet moments of choosing comfort and simply being. You linger here, savoring the stillness within you, knowing that is enough. This simple yet powerful magic that you just experienced is dolce far niente, the Italian phrase that means the sweetness of doing nothing. Every time I say dolce far niente during this episode, I'm going to say it with as much commitment and gusto as possible because it being an Italian phrase, I am not at all sure that my accent is correct at all. But I do know that Italian is meant to be expressive and that in the movie Titanic, at the beginning during the poker game scene, Fabrizio throws down his losing hand and says, Niente, nothing. So I feel like I at least have the approximation of that part of the phrase due to my copious polyglot study of having watched Titanic a few times in my life. So I know that depending on what culture you're coming from when listening to this episode, some of the societal associations may be rather varied. Here in the United States, though, when we say the words doing nothing, the connotation is pretty automatically laziness. If I'm doing nothing, I am in essence being lazy. However, before we go forth in this episode uncovering more of this magic, it's incredibly important to make clear that Dolce far niente has nothing to do with being lazy, nor does it have anything to do with procrastination. It is a conscious act that many Italians consider to be an absolute art. Dolce far niente is an act that is much more akin to the idea of taking time to smell the roses. The Italians understand that this is a crucial part of a life well lived, of a healthy, balanced life. This Italian magic is a mindset that there is pleasure in being idle. One article that I read used the phrase, the joy of idling. I love idling as a verb, and actionable in action. I just love that. The joy of idling. This is a practice of presence, of allowing ourselves to be and to rest. And here's the real doozy. In this art, in this practice, you don't need to burn yourself out in order to deserve an afternoon of dolce far niente. It isn't something that needs to be earned. It isn't a reward for a job well done or for pushing yourself so hard that you crash. It isn't a recompense awarded after we prove ourselves in some sort of way to others or to ourselves, right? The Italians understand that we inherently deserve to appreciate the being of life. We've all heard that ridiculously cliche phrase. Somebody's definitely said it to you at some point in your life, or multiple times to you. That phrase, you're a human being, not a human doing. And we hear that phrase and we say, yeah, you're right. I know. But we don't know. We don't. But the Italians do. We deserve to be. We are worthy of experiencing the sweetness of doing nothing so that we can be truly present in the moments of our lives. And while you're present in this moment with me, will you please do me a really big favor and give Daily Magic a 5-star rating on Spotify? When you are in the mobile app, if you go up to the show itself and click on those 3 dots, you're able to actually give a rating to the show and it'll come up in stars and you can click 5 stars, of course, for Daily Magic. And I would really appreciate it and it would help me and this show grow. And I would really, really appreciate your support in that. So thank you so much in advance for doing that for me. And while we're doing the business side of things, I actually absolutely need to contact the managers and the booking agents for Dolce far niente because it would be the perfect poster child for Daily Magic because this particular sweetness isn't about lavish luxury moments or long vacations. It's the sweetness of the now. The sweetness of this present moment, the sweetness of not needing to do anything in particular in this moment other than enjoy it, other than be in it. It's taking pleasure in the ordinary. How magical! Examples of ways to practice dolce far niente are things like going outside to sip your morning coffee or tea, or sitting out on your terrace with a glass of wine while watching the sun set. It's people watching, or turning off the TV and putting away your phone. It's allowing yourself to gaze or daydream. It's taking a day off. It's taking time to breathe and deep stretch, being with yourself or loved ones. It's reading a good book or poetry, or making dinner with a friend, or taking a long lunch, or taking a leisurely walk. But again, the focus here is not on the actions and the what of what we are doing, but rather the how we are doing them. Dolce far niente is an art of allowing ourselves to be when we are resting, to allow the rest when we are resting, embracing the deliberate nature of this fullness of restfulness. And I can hear some of you now. I can hear some of you saying, I would love to be in a position where I can just allow myself to be and lounge around and have no agenda for an afternoon. That sounds very luxurious, actually, but that isn't the reality of my life. And I hear you, because something that really hits home for me about the sweetness of doing nothing is that it speaks to the truth that to truly be present in our lives, we must take and make the time on a quite regular basis to live moments of our life without the objective to achieve, to build, and attain. And if you are anything like me, you hear this and you know, you know it to be true in every part of yourself. It resonates so deeply, and yet at the same time, you have such large dreams and goals and visions for yourself and for your life, or you feel overwhelmed by your current responsibilities that it feels like that any idle time is being wasted, because that time could be used for taking action towards building something, towards achieving something, towards checking things off the list. I'd wager to say that this aspect of life, much like all of life in general, is a matter of finding proper balance, finding that balance. And that being said, I would also wager to say that if you are part of the majority of the Western world, your balance is likely super duper out of whack, like really, really out of whack. Rest is hard for us. Presence is hard for us. Sitting still is difficult. Being in a moment, body, mind, and spirit is challenging. Slowing to the point of allowing contentment in the present moment is so hard. And just like the magic of slowing down and the magic of rest, I want to acknowledge that the societal expectation and external pressure is certainly stacked against us when it comes to achieving balance. And even though it's stacked against us, we are capable of moving towards balance. When we see, feel, and learn how many external pressures shape our own internal pressures, we understand that if we want to break free, we must mindfully practice a different way of doing things. When I speak about the magic of tea time or le goûter or dolce far niente, it isn't meant to be simply educational or a moment of cozy visualization and nothing further, nothing beyond that. It isn't meant for us to go, oh wow, that's so great for the Italians or the French. I'm so happy for them. Way to go, Europeans. Must be nice. No, it's meant to shine a light and crack a door for us to invite these powerful magics into our own lives. And it is a practice. It does take mindfulness. It does require the magic of consistency, and we can experience its magic and allow that magic to transform us and our lives. We have to value ourselves and our physical and mental health enough to make dolce far niente a priority in our lives, to love ourselves enough to make it a priority. And my friend, full disclosure, when given to my own devices, I am pretty terrible at this type of magic. I am rubbish at it, actually. It is not natural for me at all. And now you may be thinking, I know that now that I say that and I admit that, now you're saying like, what? You, this infallible creature of perfection and balance, and thank you. That's so nice of you to think that. Yes, but even me. Yes, I know that you are maybe in this moment thinking about the 30,000 photos of beautiful tea times that you have seen on my Instagram stories. Or perhaps for you, it's the fact that I create, write, record, and produce a podcast called Daily Magic that focuses on slowing down and creating mindfulness and presence. And maybe that is what makes you believe that Dolce far niente is just oozing through my veins, just naturally occurring and flowing out of me in the most magical and sparkly way ever. But on the contrary, this subject is so important to me because it's such a practice for me. These topics that invite us to allow ourselves to be and allow ourselves to be enough, these are massively challenging for me. And as I practice them intentionally, deliberately, consistently, they change my life. They change my mindset. They change my being. Dolce far niente is incredible magic because it encourages presence and mindfulness. It slows our pace to be able to notice and appreciate the simple joys of life. It allows our bodies, minds, emotions, and spirits the rest that they require in order to recharge and in order to function at all, let alone well. This presence, this art, gives us the space to foster deeper connections with others that we love, creating more of a sense of belonging. It also helps us foster a deeper connection with ourselves, giving us the space to heal deep wounds and feel more peace and contentment in our own skin and experience, and creating the space and the openness for our minds to wander, for us to dream and daydream, can lead to creativity and inspiration. And in my opinion, inspiration is one of the main keys that makes our life truly worth living. It connects us to the beauty of our lives, to the beauty of others, to the beauty of ourselves. Inspiration directly influences our ability to see the possibilities of life and to find positive solutions for life's challenges, right? It colors how we see and relate to the entirety of our lives. The pacing and expectations of our modern day lives has led so many people to feel fully blocked and disconnected from their relationship with inspiration. Without a connection to our source of inspiration, not only is it difficult to work in creative fields, but life also just really loses its luster. This aspect, it seeps into every aspect of our lives. It drains us of our joy and energy towards our relationships and towards our endeavors. Disconnection from our inspiration is a massive quality of life issue because it impacts so many areas of our life in such really poignant and huge ways. And it's for those reasons that I developed and created my one-on-one coaching called Reignite Inspiration. It is so important that we are connected in with our inspiration so that we can experience the beauty of life around us, experience the beauty of ourselves, experience the beauty of others, have inspiration to be able to put towards the things that are important to us. Reignite Inspiration Coaching is a holistic body, mind, spirit, and emotions, fully personalized coaching with me that we're going to do together to dissolve your inspirational blocks and help you create your internal and external conditions that are unique to you, that are going to help you open to your flow of inspiration and help you be able to access that flow of inspiration time and time again so that you can experience and be in and be part of and be present in your beautiful life. This is why I'm so passionate about it, because it's just so important to being able, how can we experience any aspect of daily magic when we are disconnected from this super important source in our lives. If, as you're listening to me talk about this particular component, if you are feeling it resonate with you and you are feeling that you are blocked or burned out in a way that is causing you to be disconnected with your inspirational flow, I would love to do this coaching with you. So if that's you, please just click the link in the show notes below and we'll schedule a cozy discovery call together where we can talk about your unique situation and see if we're going to be a good fit to work together, okay? I hope that when you hear me talk about this, you can feel how just like deeply passionate I am about this, and you can feel my just really sincere desire to connect and help in the ways that I'm now able to with this coaching. And now we'll find our way back into that overarching topic of Dolce far niente. I know that you can tell that as I get passionate about something, it just tumbles out from my spirit in that way. So it is because Dolce far niente has so many magical benefits, and it is because Dolce far niente is naturally so very difficult for me that I now have become really strict with myself actually about practicing it. One day per week, I take a day of rest. Not a day off, not a weekend, a day of rest. I keep my phone off or in another room. I block that day off on my calendar. I practice being present in the sweetness of the moment. And boy, oh boy, like, let me tell you the truth. My mind loves to create these pitches of ideas like, well, what if we sit on the couch in cozy clothes, but we let ourselves just like answer a few emails, or maybe make a couple of business calls, or how about if we just sit out on the terrace with a cappuccino and then schedule a session with new clients, right? Like, it seems innocuous enough, but when I've listened to those voices, when I've given into that, I find that I don't receive the healing magic of the sweetness of doing nothing because I'm still doing. It's the swapping out of the doing with the being that gives us all of those magical benefits. And when I let those little kind of, you can basically be resting, but also do some work. When I let those thoughts come in and when I act upon them, I find that day did not give me the healing benefits, the magical benefits that I was really sorely needing. Make no mistake, I love the magic of a cozy workday, but a cozy workday is not actually the same as dolce far niente, as much as my mind wants to try to talk me into thinking that it is. My practice, the thing I have to be mindful and present, I have to practice. The practice is allow myself to be enough in my moment without creating, producing, and achieving. That's where my real work is. And I'm being really transparent with you about that because I would love for you to think that this is just something that I have down pat, but it is a practice for me. And I hope that the tone of my voice, as I have said the word practice so many times, lets you know that even though a lot of the topics that we discuss, they are cozy and they are comfy and they are sparkly and enjoyable, and it doesn't mean that they necessarily come naturally or easily to us. If while you're listening to this episode, you've had voices arising inside of you telling you why dolce far niente isn't feasible or isn't practical or isn't doable for you, or your schedule or your personality type doesn't allow for that or isn't the type for it, if you're feeling resistance as you are learning about this particular art, I encourage you to inspect that. I encourage you to go within, to pause and see if perhaps you may be someone who really needs this particular magic. You deserve rest, my friend. You are enough just by being. You are worthy to dedicate time to simply be. So with that, be blessed, be light, and be the magic. Love you, my friend.